Hi everyone and welcome back. So now we're ready to create our decomposition tree, which we will put into our next sheet. So what I'll do, I'll rename our current sheet just sales overview, page 1. And then we can rename our second sheet sales overview, page 2. And then what I'll insert inside this, if you look towards the bottom of our visualizations, there's an option for a decomposition tree. So if we just click on this, we can add it in. And I want to make it slightly bigger. So I'll make it this size for now. Maybe leave a little gap at the bottom. And then from here, we can add what we want to analyze. So if you click into the visual, under Analyze, you can select net profit or sales. I'm going to bring in net profit. So that's what we want to view. And then we can explain it by multiple metrics. So for example, if we bring in customer country, that will allow us to add our customer country in. And then we can see a breakdown of the net profit, by customer country. And then we can also add in more metrics after. So let's add in some more. We can bring in the product line. So we'll just bring it into explain by as well, just underneath the customer country. And then let's also bring in the customer name. And we could also then break these down further. So we could look at the USA and then look at the product line. So for sales in the USA, the majority of them were classic cars, for example. And then we could even see our customer name after this. And we can see which this customer generated the most net profit in classic cars in the USA. Okay. And then we could change this to France or Australia, and you'll see the customer name will change. Okay, so let's just format this a little. We want to change the background color. And I'm just going to have it match the canvas in the background of the dashboard. So that will be our first hash code. So let's just control and see this. And while clicking into the visual, we'll just format the under effects, the background color. And then I'll just paste that in. Or what we could also do is just turn the background off and it will be the same. It's just going to remove any background. So like if we had this white background and turn it off, it's just going to match the canvas. And then we'll actually need to do it for the headers as well here. So this will be in the visual section, the format visual, not general. And under headers, so this is just the title, but our background is currently set to white. So we need to set this to the same color that we just used for our canvas. But now we can't see our headers, so let's just change the font. And we can change this just to be the same white color that we've been using throughout this. And we can also change how this visual is, this field is displayed. It's currently got an underscore in between it. But if we go back to our add data to visual, and for each of our explain by options here, let's just click the arrow and then we can rename it. So let's just capitalize it and we can just write customer country and then it will rename it up here. And we can do the same for product line. And for customer name as well. And it will only do it for this visual. Did that save? No. I'll just do it again. Okay. And then we'll just change the format of our subtitles here. So again, under headers and subtitles, we'll just make the color the same. Okay, and let's just set the color of our bars to be the same as our sort of dashboard theme, the teal color. So we'll click into it, and then under bars and colors. So we can change the positive and negative values, but I believe all our net profits will be positive. But if it was negative, we could set it to show red, for example. And then we'll just leave bar background as it is. Or, yeah, we could actually match this with the canvas also. And then it will only show the bars which are being displayed like this. We would just need to change the labels as well. But yeah, I think it looks better where it doesn't have a white background. So for the labels, we just click into it again. And then our values is going to be the same color. And then we could have it display in thousands, but I'm just going to keep it as auto. But what I would like to do is just put it to 2 decimal places. So let's just see how our net profit is. So it's currently a currency, but the format has many hashes after, so we can just change this to 2. So it's not dot hash hash, which means 2 decimal places. And we're going to need to do that for all of them here. And you can see in the example how it would be displayed. Okay, so now I've added just 2 decimal places to each of them. That should reformat them. Yeah, only to show 2 decimal places. So I've also just noticed we can't see our category labels here, our countries. So we just need to format our visual and just change the font of our category labels to be the same. And then the selected line is blue. Maybe we can make it a different color just so it stands out, so that we know what's being selected. Or under tree and connectors, it just shows you what color to set the selected lines at, and then all other lines will be the color you select as well. So for the selected line, we could make it our teal color as well. Yeah, I'll probably just leave it like this. Okay, and then you can also just add more if you like. You can explain by different metrics. It's really a personal preference what you prefer to visualize. And then the last thing I'll just add here is just I'll make a copy of our title. So if we just control and see this, we can bring it into our other sheet as well. And then I'll just move it up a little bit. Okay. So that's it for the decomposition tree. In the next video, we will work on our table that we will display beside this. So we'll see you there.